So the first destination I believe was the United States of America. This was a photo that we had taken in the Central Park, New York, and I was a very little girl back then. Here I'm posing close to the rocks, trying to act like a model, and this was our first day in New York. This is a road in Manhattan, and this is the Pennsylvania station. Here are some drummers. This is in front of our hotel, Holiday Inn, and here's Sushmita. She's so cute. We're having breakfast now. This is when we went to visit the magnificent, glorious Liberty statue in a cruise. That time it was undergoing some renovation, so we couldn't see it up close. And yes, this was in the Disney store, and I had went to pick up some stuff from there. And here is Sushmita in the stroller waiting, and I'm here trying some beautiful hats from Toy Story and shopping and taking my time and stuff. Minnie, I was so obsessed with Disney. And here are some photos with the characters that we met in Times Square. It was so fun seeing them. It was like a dream come true. Here's Sushmita. She's so cute, so small. And this is the Empire State Building aerial view from the top floor. We had went on bus tour, and this was when we had taken photos, and it was so nice to sit in that huge bus and go exploring the United States. This is me close to the New York City road, and here I am in New York. This is the wondrous Brooklyn Bridge, and me and Sushmita, we were so small. This is like a park in New Jersey, and here she is, the one and only. I can remember this was a Mexican restaurant in New Jersey that we had went. The second destination was France, and in France we stayed in Novotel Hotel. This is Disneyland in Paris, and we had a wonderful time over there. We also got to see the Disney Studios. We are now waiting to see the one and only Disney parade. Here are some of the characters that we got to see. After the parade, we are waiting to buy some sandwiches for lunch. It was so fun going there, and at last we had went to see the Disney Castle. It was so beautiful. Here are some other castles close to the Disney Castle, and we had went on many Disney rides. Here is one of them. This is a Disney store inside of Disneyland. This is the one and only Eiffel Tower. Here is the aerial view on top of the Eiffel Tower. These were the photos that we took. And then we had went to see the Arc de Triomphe, also known as the Champs-Élysées, which is a very famous boulevard in France. This was built during the World War I. And just below the monument there was a memorial of the unknown soldier during the World War I and Napoleonic Wars. After that we had went on a ferry ride in the famous Seine River. Here are some photos. This was in the Louvre Museum. We were seeing and admiring the paintings, and we also got to see the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. This is a Cathedral Notre Dame, a famous church in France. I took a photo close to this cathedral. And now we are getting set to go back home. The next trip was to Switzerland, and in Switzerland we stayed in the capital city Bern. This was a photo taken while going to the Bern snow mountains. You guys should also visit Switzerland. It's such a beautiful country. There's so much nature to see. Here my cousin and I are standing close to a beautiful cottage house. See guys how beautiful this country looks. This was a restaurant on top of the mountain. We had some snacks and we had fun skiing in the mountains, and there was so much snow. We played snow fight and we are now making snowmans with our cousin. After that, we went to Geneva to visit the United Nations. Here is a photo close to the United Nations. This is an ancient famous clock tower in Bern. The next destination is the United Kingdom. In the United Kingdom we stayed in London. It was quite rainy that day when we had went to see the Big Ben. This was a photo taken in the London Big Bus tour, and after that we went to see the London Bridge. It always reminds me of London Bridge is falling down. Then we went to the Westminster Abbey and I participated in the competition and got a certificate. This was taken close to the Buckingham Palace, and there was some parade going on that time. It was so beautiful to watch. This was the Buckingham Garden. Here are me and Shishmita. The next day we had went to visit the Madame Tussauds. Look at me with the royal family. And Charlie Chaplin, he's always making us laugh. And my favorite, Albert Einstein. And everyone knows him, he's the Shah Rukh Khan. Oh no, look at Hulk trying to capture me. And I'm with the Star Wars Jedi. This was in the British Museum. We stayed in a hotel apartment in London. Shishmita wanted to visit the Peppa Pig world, and we had went in Southampton. It was a really far trip, guys, but it was worth it. Look at Peppa and George. She was so happy. This was the Peppa Pig shop. She had went and bought so many toys. Look at her holding the 2 bags. This was the aerial view of London Eye. And we took a photo of the Big Ben and its parliament. London's most iconic venue, Royal Albert Hall. And here I am in Leicester Square. This was in St. James Park, and we ended our trip. And our final trip was to Georgia. And in Georgia we stayed in the capital, Tbilisi. And guys, It was such a beautiful country. You need to visit Georgia at least once in your lifetime. These photos were all taken in Georgia, Tbilisi. Here you can see Sushmita enjoying herself in our hotel's indoor swimming pool. This is the mother of Georgia. We also visited a museum which was dedicated to Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union. You can see Sushmita standing close to a picture of him. There we are, all tired and exhausted. Here we are, me and Sushmita, picking up some flowers and fruits in some orchards which were always there in Georgia. Grapes. And this was in the wine tasting factory. We loved tasting the authentic food in Georgia. This was a restaurant. This is the Gudari Mountains. Here are people parachuting. It was so scary, guys. As we are all stuck inside the house due to the pandemic, it was an amazing experience of recalling our travel memories. I recommend all of you to do the same, and I swear you'll enjoy it.